stonks, baby. What's going on, traders? Welcome to the channel. I'm John. That's Groot. We trade options here. What we're going to do really quickly is look at AMC and GME, GameStop. And we're going to see, as a trader, is there any good position points, maybe some good support levels, good entry points. That's something I want to look at today. Let's jump in really quick. I want to show you the account, just give you some full disclosure here. The only real exposure I have to any of those two would be GameStop here. GME, it's a $50 put. Really, don't hate me. I know people might be mad right now. I'm not like an anti-GME believer or anything like that, but these were just such cheap puts when I got them to 2022. So I basically have a year's worth of runway, and they're kind of like little lottery tickets. Okay, so again, don't hate me. But to show you here too, let's go to Tastyworks. Yeah, no GameStop or AMC here too, so I'm not really vested in anything. No pump and dump scenery here, baby. But let's jump in the charts, and I want to show you what we're looking at. So right now that's AMC, but how about we look at the overall stock market, SPY. What you're gonna see here is this trend line is definitely still persistent. It has presented itself as resistance right now, and unfortunately we failed to get above it today. But the price action was okay today. I wish we would have closed actually a little higher than we were at now. So for that reason, actually in a couple of my trades, I reduced my risk a little in like Tesla and a couple of calls there for that reason. But let's get back to AMC, and you can see just super parabolic, then drops and mean reversion. But right away, I already see some interesting price levels here. Let me get out my price level tool and I'll show you where we're at. So this is a big one, and the reason I like this and it seems interesting is we've tested and respected a few times. So tested once, twice, 3, 4, and then on the next time, 5th, we went up above, and then for 6, we tested and respected the heck out of it by closing above that price level. So I actually like AMC even at this point for a entry point. That's really interesting. And the biggest thing I'd say is if this didn't work out, like your next level of watching, or maybe like a stop loss level to put yourself at, would be here around the $5 level. You can see that's been respected a few times as well, but naturally it's a gap, and gaps tend to hold a little power on that end there. As I go to maybe the 15-minute chart, nothing too much stands out other than volume's high. Let's see, what do we got? Boom, boom, boom. Yeah, just really gaps everywhere for days. But more importantly, I care more about where we're at now, and if this actually is a support level, where do we go tomorrow? So anyone trading after hours, I might even consider an after hours trade here in AMC. And then if this goes higher, these would probably be the two levels to look at here. So about 1160 to maybe about 1250. So those are ones that would be the natural next resistance levels I'd stare at for myself. But let's go to GME, GameStop, GameStonk, Diamond Hands, baby. Okay, so parabolic as heck. It almost looks like the same chart. Okay, I am on GME. So that is interesting. How about we go to the hourly? Yeah, that's a little better. And the first thing I see is volume. Look at that. So volume soared as we started climbing. That's great. And this is when all the short covering started happening, as well as buying. And that's really impressive. And then boom, we shoot to the moon. And you can already see right when the volume got lighter, that's when GameStop was restricted basically by a couple funds, but really the biggest one was Robinhood, sort of creating artificial supply. And by allowing you to sell only, that created kind of this mess. And then I can see volume has actually picked up again here, but the most interesting thing I see would be this price level. And let's see. Actually about where we're at now too, so that's cool. Okay, so right now GameStop is trading at 90.21, And if this goes lower, I'm gonna set an alert in my account for $80. So if this stock starts trading at or below $80 a share, I'll get an alert and I will look at how we react to these support levels at 77, 76. And then let's see, okay, 160, that's a pretty big range. But wow, you'll see what I'm talking about. Look at this volume. So I'm on the hourly chart. Volume's just caca insano. And then we shoot up, and then this big bar drop. Usually when you look at something like this, you see the biggest bar on the page. You want to see the biggest volume bar associated with that, and I don't. It's like one of the smaller ones out there. Yeah, so this is interesting. So like, look at this, right? Look at how low the volume is. And then actually look at this where we bounced off support, and look at the volume. So, I mean, that's a big difference right there, right? That's massive. So this artificial supply tells me a couple things. It tells me that no one's really selling other than probably shorts. And then also right here, as we're approaching more support, you're starting to see more activity pick up. So this does tell me a couple things that I find really, really interesting. 15-minute chart, basically about the same thing, you know, big volume bars, that like that. See this? That's like the biggest volume bar in the last week, and it's because we bounced off support. So this tells me that this level is an important level. And I like that. I like seeing that. That gives me a lot of confidence. This bar here where we dropped, these are all really low. Look at that. Boom, boom, boom. Super low. Wow. So that does tell you a couple things. I think I do have a bit of agreement here with what the Reddit Wall Street Bets crowd is saying. I think that there is still more room to run. And personally, this is not investment advice, it's just educational purposes only. This is kind of the risk tolerance I'm looking at. But I'm going to watch GameStop. If we get below 80, I want to see how we react to that support level. If it keeps going higher and I miss it, I miss it. You know, it's just not within the risk tolerance that I want to take on. But AMC actually does look really interesting to me at these levels. And the thing I like is you can have a stop set around the under $5, around the $5 level. And there's a bit more upside versus the downside risk. So that's something that I'd consider, at least for my risk tolerance. But I do hope that was helpful. Like and subscribe. You don't want to make Baby Groot mad. The strategy here, I trade options for income. Usually that income comes weekly, monthly, and I take that to put into different buckets. One's a more highly speculative bucket that can get you, you know, 10, 20, 100x return, but I keep that risk pretty small. The next one is for long-term growth. So over the next 10, 15 years, I want to see that grow significantly and have a little bit more of a safer, less volatile type of action. And then lastly is just to continue to build the income snowball. So that's the last bucket. So where you might typically get, you know, $100 as your weekly dividend, maybe that grows into 200, 300, 400 because you're allocating more resources to that trade. If you like that, you're gonna get great valuable content coming to you multiple times a week. Like we said, like and subscribe. Thank you. Appreciate you. See you on the next one. Peace.